I knew when we started the market garden we would head into microgreens. We didn't have the facilities, the trays and the interest in it to start with, but following Curtis Stone's lead, all of the DTM, the high value fast, they were on our list. They were in our top 15 of crops we wanted to grow, and then it was good timing. We hadn't brought any infrastructure for it, and then I've noticed people starting to use the paper pot propagation tray for the microgreens, and I went, boom, I like it. So we brought 120 of those trays, and that's been a game changer for everyone with micros. And then I noticed Excelsior Farm, he put up a post showing how he's harvesting microgreens on those trays with his greens harvester. And then I noticed people are using the drop seed to plant their microgreens too, and so drop seeding the tray, greens harvestering it, and the bubbler process has taken all the work out of it. When we began, we tried everything, every different style, including pea shoots in the trays and hand cutting with knives, and yeah, we're just twice a week we're planting and harvesting. They're our fastest crop and the most high value seed. Just got interested in them, and they're popular, and they're year round. We worked out that we're more efficient to sow less varieties that have the same days to maturity.
And we like to have them facing east-west, so the sun comes up over here and down in this direction, and that gives the maximum heat exposure onto the we're in the southern hemisphere, so onto the northern side of the tray, which encourages the warmth in the tray and the humidity within the tray, and we believe that helps germination. And we put them down and just out of the way. And what we look for when we know that they start growing is we lift the concrete block like this and look underneath, and the seed will want to stick to the concrete block, but when the seed has sent its roots down, it stays in the compost. So when we lift the concrete block, we're looking for the majority of the seed with radish to have split and the root to have gone down, and it'll be holding itself in the soil rather than sticking to the concrete block. And also you can look for around the edge of the tray, if it's lifted slightly like this, the expansion of all of the seeds in the pile of usually 8 or 9 trays together will the effect will lift the whole pile and the concrete block, so you end up with a small gap around the edge here, so you can look for a gap. And we usually check them every 6 hours or so, because they can grow so fast. Their life is only 4 or 5 days at this time of year in summer. So when that happens, we unstack them, so we take them and then we put them up underneath, but we try and avoid direct sunshine during the hottest parts of the day, so we position them in a way so that the sun doesn't damage the seedlings on the back of the tray. So usually maybe slightly forward or slightly back, depending on which side of the greenhouse you're on. And we grow them on the middle and we grow them on the bottom, but the only thing that you have to watch out for when you grow them stacked on top of each other, I believe, is when you water this, the drips, especially along the front, the drips can land on the bottom and overwater certain parts of the bottom tray. One brief pass with the fan spray, usually aim for the back and then aim for the front, and then we get even coverage over the full width of the tray. So we try and keep both ends of the greenhouse open, and moisture, we water them twice a day. If the greenhouse gets really hot in the day, we come along and spray the floor with the fan spray just to moisten the floor, and this helps. It drops the temperature quite quickly, and it helps to increase the humidity, so if it's super hot and dry and the air's being sucked out of the soil, and they don't really need a lot of care. Some batches we have the seed will stick to the leaf as the leaf is trying to open. So some people believe that it's beneficial to brush the seeds like this, and this dislodges the seed holes, and it just makes a clean harvest afterwards. So usually we'll have 2 batches on the go, depending on what time of week it is. couple scoops in each tray. And then, because the corners are empty and the middle is full, if you do it this way, it shakes it out into the corners. And for microgreens, we found that you don't need to compress the soil, just a gentle pat like this. And make sure the soil is in the corners. And then we use this to take the top off, so just go across it and take most of the hills away. And a zigzag pattern helps to, with the edge, helps to cut, whereas if you scrape like this, it sometimes drags the fibres, it drags holes in the, in the surface. So if the edges are quite clean and the top is flat and the soil is not very compressed, this usually works quite well for us. And we've got the moisture correct, so we'll come with a drop seeder now and drop the seeds with a drop seeder onto here, and then when it's seeded we take a board like this, and so we have the seed on here after we've dropped it on, and then we compress the seed into the soil, and then this leaves a layer of seed that's in good contact with the soil, and then we come along and gently water and this is good enough to grow in, and when your trays are all seeded and packed and watered, with these trays it's slightly different. Some of the other trays we have a different design, but you see how one tray clips into another.